What's up guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens, so stay tuned to hear all about it guys. My name is Jesus Martinez and I'm a San Diego photographer trying to go full-time, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to follow the journey. Alright guys, so like I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about the Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens, and I will be using it with the Sony A6400. So a couple days back, I actually booked a photo shoot in downtown. I hit up some model and we met up down there to get some really cool photos with this lens. Now, I chose this lens for this specific locations because they have really cool architecture, really cool spots that I really wanted to shoot, and the 16mm field of view felt like was perfect for this. So I did a little bit of a modeling video and I'm gonna put in my photos in there just so you guys can see what this lens can do. This was filmed on the Sony A6400 along with the Sigma 16mm 1.4 and it was all handheld. Now for this video, I'm just gonna mention the stuff I like and the stuff that I think could have been different with this lens. Now first off, this 16mm field of view, like I mentioned, it is perfect for any location shoot where you're trying to get more of the architecture, more of the place. You're not trying to film the whole frame with your subject, because that 16mm gives you a pretty wide view, as you guys have already seen in these photos. I took very few photos close up because at the 16mm I started to get a little bit of warping, kind of deformation on the body. Like you could just tell the body parts were way too big. I mean, I'm filming on it right now, like this is a huge hand, you know. It's, if that makes sense, like look at my hands, how big they are. You see them? You see him? That's just what you get with the 16mm, and it's very common. Any 16mm focal length will give you that. But what I really liked about this 16mm is that the edges weren't getting as warped as other lenses that I've used before. So I really liked that when I was actually doing this downtown shoot, because with the architecture you tend to get some really weird stuff coming out of the lens. But with this lens, honestly, this thing is perfect for any, like I mentioned, location shoots where you're trying to grasp the whole place into one image. Now I shot a lot of these images at 1.4, and the video, most of it was at 1.4, and as you guys can see, some of the background was totally blown out, and I really enjoyed that, especially with the Sony A64 getting that focus right in the eye. It was perfect. It was phenomenal. I love that 1.4 aperture on this lens. And actually all of this, like I mentioned, it was all handheld video shot at 60 frames per second. So let me know what you guys think. Well, do you guys think it looked good? Passes? Eh? Now I did try to actually get some flares with this lens, as for a couple of seconds we had the sun come out since it was a pretty overcast day, but there was no flares coming from this lens. There was some very minimal flaring, and I actually really enjoy that, especially when I'm shooting natural light, when you can capture those nice flares, that nice rainbowish colors coming out. I think that really enhances a portrait. But with this lens, we had zero flares coming out of it, and if anything, that would be one of the cons. Another thing, I wish this lens had stabilization. It would make it a superb, is that a word? Superior lens. One of my favorite lenses to use handheld, but unfortunately it does not. It worked out all right with the 60 frames per second. Like I mentioned, the warping on the body, I wish there was a lens that didn't really mess around with that, but I mean, that's just focal length. You can't really do anything about that. Alright guys, that's all I have for you guys. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a like. Really helps out the channel. Again, subscribe for future content, and I know I've promised this many times, but I'm going to be uploading a video at the bare minimum of 1 video per week. So stay tuned, they're coming, I promise. I also have a couple updates on where I'm at. The whole point of this channel was to really track where I'm going, and there's have been some huge changes. Just been a little bit busy, couldn't really get it all down, and I wanted to push this video since updates are coming, guys. Anyways, you want to check out my work, it is at Widow Visuals. Still working on a 30-day challenge. It is now about 2 months into it. Damn. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you guys are gonna buy this lens, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.